talk about Rohingya, the forgotten people of Burma. First of all, I would like to speak who are the...
You can see the slide?
Who are the Rohingyas? The Rohingyas are actually... Who are the Rohingyas? Rohingyas are predominantly Muslim community, and they are one of the two indigenous people of Arakan. And they have been living in Arakan time in memorial with their own civilization and culture. And during the democratic period, Rohingyas are recognized as an ethnic people of Burma and equal to the other ethnic minority of the country. And approximately their population is 3 million, and 1.5 million the Rohingya people have been expelled from the country because of military regime continuous persecution. Rohingyas' problems is actually a man-made tragedy to get rid of Arakan of the Muslim population. Human rights violation against Rohingya is a lot. I would like to highlight only a few human rights violations against Rohingya people. The first thing is denial of citizenship, and second is restriction of movement, marriage, education, and confiscation of land. The State Peace and Development Council, the military regime, have declared the Rohingyas are non-nationals, even though they have glorious past establishment in their own country. In 1982, citizenship law deprived the Rohingyas their Burmese citizenship, and it renders de facto stateless in their own homeland. It deprives them actually all their fundamental human rights freedom. Restriction of movement. Rohingyas, can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen, they cannot move from one place to another place within the same locality. Can you imagine your son, your daughters, your cousins, they can't even go to the hospital. She is even facing a serious condition. That is what Rohingya peoples are facing in northern Arakan, their daily life. And this affected their all activities. And even Rohingya MPs, they cannot move, they cannot go to Rangoon. And one MP, Ucho Min, who is from National Democratic Party for Human Rights, and he is also a member of Committee Representatives of People's Parliament, CRPP member. He was sentenced to 47 years, just traveling and just residing in Rangoon. And even his wife and 3 children also sentenced to 17 years of each. And Rohingya students, they are restricted to pursue education. They cannot go higher education. And even recently, a few years, some Rohingya students who have got distinction with 4 distinction, 5 distinction in their matriculation, about there are 10 students within these 4-5 years. These students living in Arakan just without moving, cannot move from another place, one place to another. Even they cannot study, their life is really going worse. What happened later? These students, they pass the border and they become a refugee. Now they don't know what they should do. Recently we have got some reliable sources that these students are really worrying for their life. And it's getting more and more, 1 year is like increasing year by year actually. So this is the worst situation, ladies and gentlemen. Our education is backbone of the community. This is very worse. We are restricted the right to education. You can see that in the picture. These are young young child, young students, what will happen in their future and about their education in childhood. They want to go to school, but there is no school for them. What is their future? These are just young Rohingya children. Most Rohingya students have little access even to primary education. This is one of the humiliation to Rohingya people in Arakan. They cannot get married and they cannot found a family. If they want to get married, they have to provide bribe. This bribe is not a simple bribe, it's a big bribe. And most of the Rohingya families, they can't provide this bribe. And there is about 15,000 marriage applications are pending with the authorities. And a few young people, when they fall in love, when they get married, they're waiting for the application actually. But they can't wait for 2 years for the application. And after that, they secretly marry. And when the authorities found out, they were gone for jail. About more than 70 or 80 people we got from our reliable sources. These people are in jail now, 3 to 4 years, because of they waiting to get a marriage application and they just married secretly. This is what happening in Rohingya people, their daily life. Rohingya farmlands, they have been confiscated. These lands they kept under military control. It's become increasingly landless and entirely displaced, these Rohingya people. Eventually they starve them out, and after that they cross the border. They have nothing much to do in their own country, in their own homeland. Even though they have glorious past establishment in their own country, they have everything, their cattle, their lands, their houses, everything was taken by this regime. So they have not much to do. Another way, as I have been mentioned earlier, they can't they have restriction on movement. They can't move one place to another. They can't marry. They can't have education, and their lands are also confiscated. And finally, what they do is they just cross the border. And these people are rushing to leave their homeland as the lands have been confiscated by the regime. There are about 1.5 million Rohingya have left from their own homeland. They're taking shelters actually in the countries such like Bangladesh, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Thailand, Malaysia. Actually, with Burma and Bangladesh, this is unabated because of continuous human rights violation is going on. There is two major Rohingya exodus in Bangladesh and their repatriation. One is 1978, another one is 1991 to 1992. Each about like 300,000 refugees. And 1978 and 1992, these people are sent back by Bangladesh authorities, but not like as a citizen of Burma, just like stateless people to their homeland. And after they come back to Burma, they face human rights violation. As restriction is going on day by day, their daily life is worse and worse. They cannot stay back. They go back again to Bangladesh. So these people, can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen, in Burma, like stateless, even beyond the border, as a refugee.